let me show you what I have here. This gorgeous paper that I cannot believe that I'm going to start by using the back. And because I know this has a pattern on it that I might want to stay consistent with it, I want to see what is the top and what is the bottom. I think they're all, you see this little wave right here? I think that's what I'm looking at. I think I like that. So I'm going to say that this is the top of my paper. And I put these little paper tapes on because I lose my place. Then I get stuff upside down. So here, this works out really good. And so let me tell you what I'm doing here and what I have. 2 pieces of your favorite paper. And then for some reason, I have tons of leftover 4x4 squares from the other project that we did. Perfect 4x4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one should also be 4 squares that I already turned into triangles. Yes, okay. So we have 4 pairs of triangles, also 4-inch squares for this project. And then you need a stitching, because this is basically like what I consider a quilt. So you need a stitching, and I cut this gorgeous one, that itty bitty little, I call this a stitch. So I cut 8 for one page and 8 for the other in the gorgeous gold, almost 2 pages, 12 by 12 full. And then I have this gorgeous trim that's going to be on the top. We need to cut it in half. I like to cut one at a time, because when you cut one at a time, I feel like you can really see it better. If you want to be rushed and cut them both at the same time, then you're better than me. I cannot do it. I feel like I don't only have so many of these, and I don't like to mess them up. So here and here, and then we cut it in half. Slowly take your little tape off because you don't want to lose any of this gorgeous part. Okay, so here we have black strip, and we need to cut it in half. I'll do one more. Here are 2 borders cut in half. I have 16 of these gorgeous gold ones, and then I cut 2 of these already and built them. I did the green and then I did the black. I like the green because it shows up a little bit better from the florals. It accents the leaves. So now we have this to build, and I like this part, and you put it right on the edge. Do you see that? And that'd be just gorgeous. Okay, and this is actually a sticker. So we take this little piece off. I'm folding half of it down. And yes, I think sometimes my stickers are not strong enough. So I am putting an extra strip of double-sided tape on it, just to be sure that we're going to keep it. Okay, and then we have ours here, and I'm going to try to use as little as possible. I want all of my little die here to show, so I'm just getting the very edges of this little bell here. I want my edging to really pop. Okay, there we go. And if you have a little ruler similar to this, you can see that we went pretty straight. Okay, and there's a tiny little bit of our die is just a little bit shorter than our sticker, so I'll cut that little trim off so you don't see it. And we're going to do the same thing 2, 3 more of these, 4 more of these. We should have 4 of them. I lost one. It's okay. Let's just do what we have. Okay, so now we're going to build our quilt. That's what we're calling this. We're going to build our quilt, okay? And I love paper and I love all of these absolutely gorgeous colors. So I want to change my colors a little bit. So normally we would do this. We would add our colors just like that, okay? And then we'll take this, so and so, okay? Do you see where I'm getting this from? This is what we are building. Okay, so this is what we're building, but I want to make it a little bit different because different is good. And so I want to take this one and flip it over to pink. And then I want to flip these two over to pink and this one to pink and then these two to pink. So that way we get more colors. So you get to see all the beautiful colors of the paper. So that is what I am going for here. So that we know that we are laying our first little triangles at the 6-inch mark, then you need to kind of use your ruler, pencil. Okay, and we are putting our paper at 6, right there, right here, right here. So just like that. Okay, we are scoring that, increasing it just enough that we know where our mark is. We have our 6 o'clock mark there. Okay, you can feel that's in your score. And then you find your 6 right here. And I am going to draw a little pencil line right there. And that is going to be where our two squares meet. Okay, we have one beautiful one right here. And we know that right here is our score mark. And right there's our little triangle. And you're putting that down right there. And then we have our black. And we're going to follow that little triangle and go straight up to the top. And that makes it really nice and easy when you put your score mark in the front. And you're never going to see that score line. This little pencil mark, super easy. Squeeze in here and remove that. Now what we have on the sides is we were going to do pink and pink. And so now since we have the middle set, it's very easy to come back and do your sides because we're following the triangle here. Okay, and you're right here with your triangle. There's a little space on mine, but that's going to be just fine because we're going to have that little stitching going on. So we'll be perfectly okay. That little stitching is going to erase all kind of evils. There we go. And now we're doing the same thing to the next pink ones. Right there. I'm preferring that the edges of this be pretty and on the edge compared to these little parts touching because this little decoration is going to come right in the middle. So we'll be able to cover up little pieces that don't fit just perfectly square, okay? So just like that, we are going to be able to cover that piece up. I'm going to do the edges here, and I'm going to use my double-sided tape, and I'm just going to go right into these little spots. You can use wet glue, you can use anything you want, okay? And so I am putting the little tiny bit right there to hold on to that little piece. You see this little piece just hides the little spot. I have one triangle in black and white, and I have one in black. Okay. And then here, we're just going to snip that little piece off, and this is an extra piece we can do something with. So now we're doing the same thing. This is going to be a continuous thing that we're going to be doing 16 times, according to how many little strips I made. I made 8. I reserved 8 of these for one page. Maybe I counted wrong, but that is what I reserved. Now we're going to do another one, and we are starting right there. Pink and white triangle, pink and white triangle. Now we go to black and white, black and white, pink and white, pink and white. And then we use this little leftover piece that we have from the other one. Okay, and then we cut off the triangles. This is just leftover. There we go. So here is our little base page. Okay, so now we're going to do the exact same thing to the other one. Okay, so I know that I was trying to recreate this page with this gorgeousness here at the bottom, and then you put a second one on top and it becomes a double spread. But I slept on it. I let this rest. And when I came back, I did not like that I was covering up these gorgeous patchwork. So I think I want to do something different around here. I'm missing a triangle. Okay, so now we're going to put our other part. Okay, I found my triangle. My desk is a mess, ladies, crafters. Please, I live in a creative mess of my space. So there we go. Isn't that just fabulousness? Yes, it is. So now I'm going to do the big long ones first. So we're putting our double-sided tape right down the center. And I'm taking one of these lovely golds that I think I said I reserved 8 of them for one page, and I think I did not use that many. I was able to recycle some. Okay, so I had reserved 8 of these gorgeous little dies for each page, and I have 4 left over. So that means you need a minimum of 6 of these for doing 2 pages. So I'm sure that I will use these again because they're absolutely one of my fabulous favorites. Okay, so I just was recording without pushing the record button. So let me tell you what I did. I took a solid piece of black basil paper, okay, and I cut it at the 3/4 mark. Okay, so 3/4 of an inch, and I went all the way around in the form of what I'm calling a C, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing to this one, but I'm going to go in at 1/2 inch. And it's very little print, but I want to try it. So we're going all the way down, and what my 1/2 inch is, this tool right here tells me it's about a 1/2 inch. So then I spin it, and I'm back at 1/2 inch. And we come right there, and you spin it. And you go all the way down. So now what I have is I have a double frame. And my plan is, let's take all of these away so you can see. This is the black frame that's going to be on the inside, and then this floral is going to be like that. Okay, so you just barely get a little peekaboo of this one, and so this little trim is way smaller than this gorgeous elaborate one, and I feel like this needs a little bit less than a little bit more. So I'm going to do 2 of these, and we're going to put them together. Now I need 1 more of the pink, is 2 of each. So let's move these over so you see how this works. We're going to put this one on top, and we're making sure that our blacks are also the same, because this black is flat on one side and has a little texture on the other side. And we're going to put it on the very edge trim. So I am using my double-sided tape again. Although I do love to use wet glue because I'm able to move it around a lot better. Okay, so now we're going to do this other part. And here we don't have to get a whole lot of tape on this. We just want it to lay nice and pretty. Just like that. Okay, and the same thing on this side. Okay, so we see that, and then this is going to get glued to the next part. Let's do the second one. Okay, so now we have 2 of these, and they are going to go as the outside of our, if you guys can see my desk, it is a mess. It is a lovely mess. Okay, so I'm going to go this way, and we're going to put tape on this side. Okay, now we're going down to this side. We are doing the same thing. I'm using my double-sided tape, but I think wet glue is something that would be really good for this because you can kind of maneuver and move things around a little bit better. Okay. And I'm taking the little snippets of gold right here because they look like they're a little bit too long, and they'll be sticking out of the black. Do you see how that lays down? Nice clean finish there. So here is half of our layout, and you still have plenty of room to sneak stuff in there if you wanted to. Okay, and then we're going to do the exact same thing to the other page with this one. Look at that. So there's a little bit of an overhang on these 2, and I just get my scissors and give it a little snip. Smaller little snips are better than larger snips because you can't go back and put it back on. So I tend to do smaller. Okay, lovely people. This one is the one on top. And then this one is the one on this side. Or did I mess that up? This is wrong. Help. Look, this is how I ended up. Do you see how I'm constantly turning my pages? Because they're not in the right way. Okay, so let's figure this one out. This one goes to the top and this one goes to the side, possibly this way. And this one goes this way. Yes, right there, they should match. But now they are this way. And do they match there also? Yes, they do. Oh, thank goodness, because I don't have to tear them apart. Okay, so I turned the page around a little bit. I'm sorry. Now the center is white instead. But look, it's still black, pink, and there's gorgeous white in the middle, and the pink goes this way, that's half, and you have beautiful, just beautifulness here. So I am not going to change it. I think we're gonna leave it alone. And if we flip it over to the back, my stripes are now standing up, which is way better, because after I was looking at what I was looking at on editing, it was not correct. So this is fine with me. Oh la la, I love when I do that. I flip pages over. And then I wanted to see what we were going to do next. And I kind of think that this would be the perfect to put gorgeous pictures at. And so I'm going to get some mats, and we're going to put some mats down. Okay, so I figured out what I want to be able to do with this is to be able to do a 4x6 picture and a 4x6 picture and a 4x6 picture and a 4x6 picture. So in order to do that, I need to have a 4x6 strip going across. Now I'm going to use the inside of this black paper. This is just textured black paper, and I'm going to measure what we had left over. This is 10.5. And if I want a 4x6, that means I need 8. To go right on top. So why don't we make it 8.5? So we have a little trim on each side. So we are going to cut this paper at 8.5. Just like that. And we are going to score this paper. Okay, so we have 8.5, and we're going to score this paper at 4.25. Right here, 4.25. Okay. And when we fold this over, is our 4.25. So what I'm thinking is I want this to be in the dead center of this. What do you think about that? And then we're going to have 2 pictures here. Flip this open, 2 pictures here and 2 pictures here. How about that for holding pictures in place? So we're going to do the exact same thing to the other one. And I am getting, it's getting time. It's getting close to dinner time, so I may have to leave. So I'm putting a little bit of painter's tape into the center right here. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, it was 10.5, and we cut it at 8.5. There we go. And then we're going to score at 4.25. And then going wide, let's see how wide this other one is 3/4, because that's how thick our trim was, our frame. So therefore, this piece here is going to be 11.25. And we fold it in half. Can't believe I cut it instead of scored it. Anyway, and we're going to place this right here, bump it up to this corner. You're trying to go in the middle of these triangles right there. And you take this one, and we're going to get some tape on it also. There we go. So now we have 2 pages that flip open. Okay, let's cut these little strips. We're going to need 4 of them. Yep. 4 of them. And we're going to cut. We want a 1/4 tucked in and a 1/4 sticking out. So all you need here is 1/2 inch. Very tiny little strips. 1, okay, and 2 for each page. We are doing 1/2 inch little strips, and then the other one also needs a 1/2 inch little strip. We're taking this little piece off, and we're going to put a little tiny bit of glue right on the edge, and we just want a little tiny 1/4 sticking out. Very good. And we take that little piece off right here. Look how stunning that looks. So now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big 4x6 pictures. Absolutely stunning. Here we have what we're looking for. So now let's do the exact same thing to the other side. And then we are going to use this one as our measuring tool of where we place this one. There we go. Okay, so here is our page, basic page put together with, I have so much stuff on my desk, with the basics, and 2, 4, 6 pictures, 12 pictures in a double layout. Okay, so I don't always think this out. I'm just doing things and having fun with my paper, and I'm not always thinking exactly how I'm going to do this. But I did quickly think, how am I going to flip this over when the binding of this is right here? And when I put my binding in, I'm going to be cutting the binding off this little piece to make my picture flip open. So in order to do that, what I want to do is cut a little snippet of this off. Not completely, but let me show you how I'm thinking of doing this. And if it doesn't work, we'll try again. Okay, so I am taking a 1/2 inch off the inside of what I'm doing, and I'm going to cut not the gold part, but just the black part down. And then I'm going to bring this together. I need to snip it all the way to the very top because that is where it needs to end. So I'm taking this little pink part off that we just added, and I'm taking my scissors to cut to the crease, just like that. And then we're putting this back on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this black part and I'm going to put a double-sided tape down. and I'm bringing this down, and this piece will be permanently down, and this piece will be opening up, okay? But I still need it there for my eye to kind of be balanced and catch the other side of the page. So I still want to leave it like that, but that part is going to be not an active flip, okay? So when we go in here and cut our page protector, we know not to cut all the way to the very edge of it, okay? Just want to show you how I'm working this because I am learning with you. And now this one is going to get cut on this side. And again, it was a 1/2 inch. And I take the little pink part rolled off a little bit so I can get to the very edge of the crease. And then I'm putting the beautiful pink part down. I'm putting some double-sided tape. And my little faux crease is going to stay right there. Okay, so this is going to sit right here. And then when we go to cut our page protector, we are not going to cut all the way to the end. We can cut a 1/2 inch away, slide this into the page protector, and this can stay outside. Okay, so here are these 2 pages right here. I need to change my tape because my tape is not telling me where things are supposed to be at anymore, since I still had tape and still did not listen to my tape. This is the inside. So it sits like this. Okay, so I decided to do this little page here, and I got double-sided flowers that I found in my stash. They're the ones that have a flower and a flourish attached to it. I want to say that these were from our Crop at Home one, maybe from Heritage. I'm not sure, but that's what I am using here, and I put them double-sided. And again, I left the sticker on it on this side and just made the sticker on the outside off so that we can sneak some pictures in here. And what I'm going to do is remove the little blue tape that I have on the outside. And because sometimes these are really handled a lot, I want to put one heavy strip on the top of score tape. Okay. And then the rest, I'll just use my regular ATG gun. Here's the middle. I have tops and tops coming through here, so I'm putting that down. Still have a little black, still have a little bit here. When you flip that open, this one, the little piece is staying down because we don't want to cut through our binding when it comes to our tape. So now here is the next one. We're going to do it exactly the same. I want to make sure that we are approximately in the same space when we're putting this down. So put these together. Very good. Okay, so here is our front page. You get to put 2 or 3 pictures here in the front. This is going all the way across, so if you just, crop your pictures, you should be able to have enough for 3 4x6s going all the way across. Here I left this open up on top so that you can slip your pictures underneath. And we're opening it up. Again, you leave the glue off of this space, unless you plan on putting your picture on top, which I also love. But here you have plenty of room to have more pictures, and I'm really liking the way the black pops on this area with these black pictures, and then we have a little bit of the black kind of outlining the whole thing. Looks really nice. Now if we flip this over to the back part, we added here these little black strips, and I have to do, this is the combination that we used for the crop at home, but I have to add my own twist to things because. So I am going to add another one right here. And you see that I like to put glue on the very edges of things, always trying to make sure we have room for extra pictures, sliding your pictures in. Okay, so now this one, we're going to do the same thing right here with this. Take the little sticker paper cover off, and then I add more glue to that just to make sure it stays intact. There we go. Okay, and then here is our back page, right? Now I always say that when you want to do something on this side and you want to bring the back part decorate, to kind of bring an element to it that you have that's continuous. So I think I have 4 more of these lovely little stitch dies that we used for something else, and I think, see, we have exactly 4, and I think it should go right on here, stitching the first ribbon to the next ribbon. I think that would be just fabulous. And again, we're bringing the element that we used in the front to the back, so that way we are using something continuous. Our pages look like they're on purposefully doing what they're supposed to be doing. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that just so pretty? Okay, so look at that. I think that works out so pretty. So let's look over our elements to see what we have. What we have here are the elements on the front. We did this gorgeous quilting, and then we added these little pages to the top. And I don't feel like right now they need magnets, so we're just going to leave that part alone. But here, let's talk about how our elements are put together. We used 2 different frames. One is this black frame here is 3/4 of an inch, and this is 1/2 inch. Then we did the quilt with the little gold trim, and then we did these gorgeous little flaps here. Also put some real pretty gold trim to kind of make that pop. It really looks fabulous. Fabulous with this black. A little bit of an embellishment and a little gorgeous pink bow to flip it over. Did the back just beautiful. So what's going to pop here are all your gorgeous pictures because of the black print. It's just going to look beautiful. And I think there's easily can get 2 4x6s in here, or you can crop some and get into more, or leave some space for journaling. You know, why not? I think all I'm missing here is I would love to use a date tag. Okay, so I figured out I wanted to use some of these little flourishes, and these are stickers. I see that they are white, and somebody told me when the paper is white, that means it's a sticker. And I am using a little extra glue because these are super curly cues, and I want to make sure they stay down completely. And I kind of want to have it mostly on the outside of the little circle here. And then this is going to be our little date tag. I think I want to put not a pop-up dot, because if we put a pop-up dot, then that means it won't stay flat. So we're just going to keep it flat. Okay, look how pretty that is. We bring this down, and here is our little date tag. Room for journaling in that little spot. I absolutely love it. Now let's look and see what we have on the back part here. This is just super fun. Lots and lots of pictures. Let's see where the next pictures go. Okay, so now let's take a look again at all our elements on this page. We have our elements here, and let's look at this page and see what we have going on. We did the page here flip up. We did the quilt on the back. We have the black that's a 3/4 inch, and then the printed part is 1/2 inch. We have both little flip ups going up, really cute. Bring those back down. On one, we have, these pages are going to be together in your book. So you need one little journaling spot or a date spot. Of course, you can do gorgeous journaling here, whatever your little heart desires. And then when we flip it over, it's our simple page that we're not letting the paper go to waste. So we flip this over, and we have this absolutely gorgeous red flowers and these beautiful vertical borders. Kind of gives it a different element instead of always doing everything horizontal. This is different for me. I'm usually doing things horizontal, so I like it. I'm happy with it. So these are our 4 pages, and I'm really happy how they went. It started because I cut out too many of these gorgeous squares. So here we are. Okay, so now what we need to do here is we need to put these in to a page protector, because we talked about how we were making, when we were in here making our little flip-flop book, we wanted to make sure that we were going to be able to get around this side. We wanted to make sure that we were able to open up this page, this little flip book, without hurting everything inside of it. So let's put that in here. Okay, so now we have our page completely in here. Is that not so much fun? So now what I want to do is I'm using my extra thick ruler right here. I'm putting it up against the edge here. A sharp, clean X-Acto knife. And I can see that this is where I need to cut. And I press and I cut as straight as I possibly can. There we go. And I'm going to do the exact same thing to this other side. This side is a little bit more challenging because there's flowers in the way, but I kind of suspect that it's about right here. So maybe I'll start from this edge down, because I can see where this is right here. There. And we have our little cut here, and we have our little cut there. And now what I do is I get some really nice sharp scissors, and I'm going around and straight across the page without going too much to the binding, because you don't want to go into the binding. You're creating this little flap right here, and then you bring this part out and it stays protected like that. Okay, so, and then I always like to make a little bit extra push around the little bow so that you can kind of feel that little bow there. There we go. So we have our little bow pulling out, and it's always my little tab to pull out. There we go. Folds open, folds this way. really pretty, and it's not on the stitching of your binding. That's what I was afraid of, that if we used our little book all the way to the edge, that we would cut this little stitching. So that's why we kind of use this little fake flip down. Okay, and then we do the same thing to the other side, and I have said it more than once that it is a lot easier to do these little cuts here when your pictures are already in, because you have to take them back out and it's a little more challenging to do that. So I always recommend that you wait until your pictures come to you to cut the flaps open. Right now I'm just storing this in my page protector because I think that's the safest place for these little things to be at. Okay, so now we have this one that is also waiting for its pictures, and this one right here. And when we are in our book, we are sitting like this. So here's our page. The binding goes this way, and we're going to open it up this way. Thank you so much for staying with me. I really appreciate you guys all giving me your questions and your friendships, and I so appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Please leave me a thumbs up and talk to me. Give me some comments. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.